With the wearing of face mask now part of daily life in the UK and most parts of the world, you may want to find out whether the mask you are wearing offers enough protection against COVID-19. That is what today is all about, giving you all the answers you seek regarding COVID-19 and how best to protect yourself. Don't forget, you can always be part of this conversation on all social media platforms. It's KWABENA TV or AKTV for short. You can also feel free to like, comment or share this video. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so now and click the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we upload a new episode. We'll be right back. I think it's now safe to take off my face mask because I've had this on for some hours and it's not been easy. Wow, it's so messed up. My makeup, it's ruined. My scarf is shifted and all, and I guess that is why most people are not comfortable wearing this. But if this is what is going to protect us, I think we can compromise on our comfort a bit and keep ourselves safe. But I don't know which type of mask you're wearing, whether you're wearing the ones you make at home or the surgical ones or a face shield especially. Which of these gives better protection? And is the face shield even required to be worn alone or separately? Well, I have the expert here to answer all our questions today, and Dr. Bertha Serwa Ayi, an infectious disease specialist, is with me on Zoom. Good afternoon, Dr. Ayi.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Does it really matter which type of mask you're wearing?
The people who are the highest risk are healthcare workers. So if you want to even get an idea of what is best for you, you have to ask yourself, what is being recommended for healthcare workers? Healthcare workers are using what they call N95 masks for good reason. When it comes to, at least in the US, I can only speak for the US, we have something called Occupational and Safety Health Administration, or OSHA. So OSHA does tests to determine whether a mask is 99% effective, 95%, or even 100%, or even 90%. So the N95, 95 there means that it is 95% effective in preventing certain pathogens from coming through. So let's specifically focus on the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes the COVID-19. Okay. So this virus measures 100 nanometers. 100 nanometers is about 1,000 times of 1 micron. And just to give you an idea of what 1 micron is, 1 micron is, if you take a strand of your hair, that's 50 micron. So take 1/50th of the size of your hair. That is 1 micron, okay? So these face masks have been designed, the N95 have been designed to prevent as many 1 micron or 0.3 micron particles from coming through. Now, remember I said the virus is 100 nanometers. Yeah. In microns, it will be 0.1 micron. So really, even the N95 mask, the virus is smaller than the 0.3 micron, which are the particles that can come through an N95 mask. The good thing, though, is that the N95 mask allows a person to seal off completely. So here's what I'm going to show you. The N95 masks allows you to completely seal off your nose, the side of your face, and your chin. So that first of all, the mask itself is providing a seal. And the idea is that as you breathe in through this mask, the mask will filter. So the word is filter. The mask will filter out these tiny particles, and hopefully even the 100 nanometer, which is smaller than the 300, the 100 nanometer, which is even smaller than the 300 nanometer particles certified for the N95, will not be able to pierce through based on the number of layers. So for bacteria, most bacteria, so you take Staph aureus, one of the most common bacteria. I hope I'm not boring you with too many numbers, but that's the only way to explain.
Okay, I think we are following. We are following.
Okay, you take the Staph aureus bacteria, which is 1 micron, or if you put it in nanometers, it's about 1 micron means about 1,000 nanometers. So that N95 will protect you against most Staph aureus because it's big enough, right? I said 0.3 microns versus 0.3 microns versus something that is 1 micron. So clearly is going to be able to protect you. So that is why healthcare workers wear N95 masks. Then you take the cloth mask. The cloth mask, you ask yourself, why aren't the healthcare workers wearing the cloth mask? Because the spaces in between the cloth fibers is somewhat big. The smallest space is 25 microns. So clearly, it's just not enough to prevent you from getting an infection if you wear just the cloth mask. That is why the World Health Organization said use 3 layers of cloth, use a cotton one for your skin, get a filter in between, and then get an outside layer. Or the best is if you can even get 12 layers of cloth. That's what comes close to something that will protect you. So I just want to put it in perspective. Besides, the cloth mask does not completely seal off your nose. You know how you put it on just loosely and it's around your, it means that if somebody coughs strong enough, it could still have particles coming around the side. So the key to even wearing the cloth mask is to make sure it goes up your nose enough, it covers well enough, so that if you are the one who is infected, it serves as a barrier to making sure that other people around you are not getting it because of the big droplets the virus is going to be holding it in. The idea is that, maybe the virus doesn't travel by itself. It travels in all the tiny droplets of saliva, etc. That comes through when you talk or when you cough. By the way, when you cough, the speed with which your cough, the cough is, the particles from your nose and mouth are traveling, is about 8 meters per second. That's really fast, right? Yeah. So you want to have something that completely seals it. That is why healthcare workers do not even wear the regular surgical mask. Just the regular even surgical mask. They don't wear that, right? Because the surgical mask is good for big droplets. It's for preventing the surgeon's droplets from getting to a patient when they're doing surgery. So in other words, the N95 mask is the best one. However, if you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, most experts were even saying, nobody should wear a mask. If you remember, they were begging people not to wear a mask. It wasn't because the mask wasn't good. It was simply because they felt if everybody goes for the mask, people will hoard the mask and there wouldn't be enough for healthcare workers. And there was a time where even in America, there was a severe shortage of masks, if you remember. But now the healthcare workers have enough. And so they're saying, okay, let everybody put on their mask to reduce the risk of transmission. So the N95 is the best one. Okay. But if you're at home and you can get a multi-layered cloth mask, it is equally good, especially if the manufacturer is able to put some kind of a metal around the nose so that it sits in place pretty nicely. So you had asked me to address the
Yes, the
issue of the face
face
shield.
shields. Yes, I was coming to that, Dr.
I
Ayi.
just want to show you how it
Okay,
works. So
very well. Go
this is
on.
the face shield. I mean, even my son, who is not a doctor, he started laughing when I told him that people in Ghana are wearing the face shields because they think it will protect them. And he said, how come do they know it won't work? I said, well, some way, somehow, somebody believed that it's going to work. And so they're using the face shield. And I want to show you why it's not useful. If you are a healthcare worker or you already have your mask on, this is a face shield, eh? You just put it on. This is a simple face shield. And the idea is that you already have a mask on, so it's going to stop splashes. Let's say somebody is talking and they have big saliva coming. It's going to stop. It's going to act as a shield. Or I'm a doctor and I'm going to do some form of surgery. It's going to act as a shield so that the patient's intestine contents, or I'm changing somebody's catheter, it won't get into my face. But if we're referring to a virus, all this side of my face is open. In fact, my nose is open, my mouth, right? Catherine, do you see that?
Yes, I can see that, and I can see that there's no form of covering at all.
It's nothing. It's just a shield over my face. And remember, now we have evidence that this virus hangs in the air. We call them aerosols. The aerosols are tiny droplets that measure about 5 microns. They're very small, and they hang in the air. So if the virus can hang in the air and you have the face shield alone, you are going to inhale it as many as possible without any barrier. So the face shield is not useful.
Okay, but that is
if you
what
don't understand,
wearing now.
yeah. So I mean, it's not useful. However, if you already have a mask and for added protection, you want to put on the face shield just because you want additional protection. And because of this interview, I went out of my way to look at all the CDC websites to see if they can explain, WHO, is there any recommendation? There was nothing. They said the face shield is just an additional. It doesn't mean you can replace it with you can replace the face mask with a face shield. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
All right. And you know what? The face mask itself is not 100% foolproof. Remember, it's N95, meaning it's only 95% efficient. And if you were to keep the best is keeping that 2 meter distance, or 6. If you keep that 6 feet distance, you may not even need a face mask. But once you're close to somebody who could be infected, then you need the face mask, and you can add the face shield, but you don't replace the face mask with the face shield.
It's been great talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure, absolutely.
And I've been speaking with Dr. Bertha Serwa Ayi, a Ghanaian US-based infectious disease specialist who has educated us on the right type of mask to wear, which is the N95, or better still, keep a safe distance between yourself and other people because you don't know who carries the virus. She also educated us to avoid completely wearing face shields alone. If you want to wear a face shield, it has to be together with a face mask, because the face shield alone, according to her, does not give you any form of protection. But if I were you, I would rather stay home, stay safe, or mask up properly to protect yourself. Thanks for watching.